Good evening. Got a few more screws to put in. How about that, huh? That's going to look sharp once she's painted up. Yep. So I got kind of lazy, and right there and there's 4 holes that by all whatever I was gonna dent them in and fiberglass them and go through all that, but instead I just put rivets in them. So the holes are filled. It'll be alright, man. It's a school bus. So I got something here I gotta live with. See that swell right there? There's nothing I can do about it. I had the sheet metal off and I looked, and it's underneath the sheet metal. So I'm gonna have to put a big old goober of sealant over that. And if I end up taking, hold on. If I end up taking this off, then whatever I put on there to replace it, I could put a little swell in it there. I don't know. I think I've got the door thing figured out though. I drew a line that approximates being flush down here, and it's a straight line all the way to being flush up there. So if I got 4.5 wide, or I guess 4.5 tall by 6 inches wide door hinges, I think that'll give me everything I need to have a door swing clear around that corner. I gotta do some experimenting, but I think that's the dealio with that. And I'm still not 100% convinced what I'm going to be doing there, but it's coming together. I was considering using the existing hinge points down here where these things pivot. It would be, you know, it would be a little weird. And then there's this rubber piece that's in there, that half of it's attached to the door and the other half is attached to this. This one, oopsie, this one's in good shape. This one's all tore up. See it up in there? It's all torn. So I would imagine the one on that side is on it. Not long for this world anyway. So we still have options here. What I'm getting, it's gelling what we're going to be doing with that door. We're looking pretty good here, man. I'm thinking I'm gonna put some sealer in these seams. Maybe, maybe not. Just to kind of help. I don't know. Oh, look how nice. The gnats are sticking to my paint job. I guess the revenge is they're dead. But I was struggling with this thing right here. This trim piece around the wheel. This thing had an accident. It's caved in right in this area here. Jeez, I can't hold this thing. Yeah, right over here. This area here is caved in. It's got dents in it. All this was beat up. This thing was whacked out of shape. And the back side of this, these holes are like just barely in the edge of it. So whenever it hit whatever it hit, it ripped the side of the hole out. Like if that was it, it just ripped out. But that bottom one is in there. It's a good secure hole in the back of this. So what I'm probably going to do is put screws in these existing holes and just catch the edge the best I can with washers on the back, you know what I mean, and put a couple of screws halfway in between but closer toward the left, so the screw's actually catching something. I only need a couple of them there. Around the top it's all good. So the original configuration of this thing, let me put the light down, had these big old rubber skirts that slid onto this thing, and it had these little push button deals that went in here, and the skirts, like fender skirts, I don't know what you call it, there's little like flare things that would stick out. They've shrunk from age and being in the sun, so they won't stay in place. They flip off of here. So I'm not going to put them on. But these holes look kind of whacked. So I'm probably going to just take rivets and put them in the holes with a washer on the back side, since these holes are a little oversized. I mean, they're almost like a 1/4 inch diameter hole. So it'll look, you know, like at least like not missing something. But yeah, it's good enough, man. I'm liking it. Strive for perfection and take what you can get, right? That's what Dad taught me. Oh, back behind here, I got that diagonal brace in there. If you can see it, goes up to the top. It's got one screw at the top there and one screw down there, and that makes this thing right here rigid. I mean, it's a little flexible on this side, but we're taking it. I'm not going to stick another diagonal bracket on that thing. I found out when I was working on it that that one piece of metal right there is thinner metal than most of the rest of the bus. So, you know, I had the opportunity to make a new one, but it's been there since 2007, okay? I think it'll be fine. Some of these screws, I don't have all the right screws, but they're in there. Like these are just flathead screws. I hate flathead screws, but that's all I had. Those are machine screws, where the rest of these guys are sheet metal screws. Since that was going through that piece of heavy gauge angle that's supporting it, I couldn't put a sheet metal screw into it very easily. I didn't want to fight with it, so I decided, well, let me put screws and nuts on the back. Ended up drilling it too close to put nuts on it, so I threaded it. I tapped the holes with threads and just screwed the machine screws into that piece of metal, and it's in there. I think what I'm going to do is order a box of screws. This, I was originally going to just rivet this thing on, because that's how it was originally, but the rivets don't really hold that well. So I'm going to buy me a box of screws and lock nuts and put screws all the way around on that. Get some nice round head Phillips screws that'll look like these. And then I'll also, these are number 1024, so I'll just get some Phillips head screws for that. Oop, there's my awl down there, I got to get that. So, some garbage. If you didn't notice, I moved the bus over about 6 feet, 5 feet, so I could work and not laying in this dirt when I have to crawl underneath there. So that's helped a little. I really can't pull up any further. I've only got a few feet to the house, so I have to deal with this little bit of a dirt issue there. I was up under there a while ago, so that's what why the cardboard is over there toward the left. But That's it. All right, good night.